data model that that is being used to populate data that is coming back from a database. Yes, and this operation we just did, right, of retrieving all the records, right, for a database. Usually we have a set of very common operations that we want to do. This is one of them. Get for me all the data from all the records from a database. Yes. So let's give them a correct name. The correct name is maybe find all courses. Find all courses. I think that'd be a good name for something that of what it's doing. You know, find me all the courses. We might want to have other operations, right? We might want to have, you know, for instance, I like to be able to find a particular course, not all the courses, right? And so this might be, you know, get mapping. We'll call it course 1, right? Find me a particular course. So find a course by ID. That's a good name. And this might be public, where presumably I'm going to only find a single course. Presumably I already know the ID because perhaps I've done a query. It came back with all the courses. So I want to say, oh, give me the third course there. I know the ID. I'll give you the ID, and then you can retrieve that one course. Right. So that's a very common operation. Right. So this might be a function maybe called the same way. And in this one, it looks very, very similar. So I'm going to copy most of this. Probably I might want to declare some of the stuff outside as global variables. Right, so I don't have to declare them over and over. Maybe my course might also be a full, right? It'll be maybe declare also above here, right? So I don't have to declare it over and over. Also, a couple other things here is that perhaps these might be nice to have as constants, right? So maybe I can declare these as constants over here. So this might be private static string called find all courses, right? And then put the string in there, something like that. And then use this constant down here. Okay. So find course by ID. The string, the SQL that I would use would be a little bit slightly different, right? It would be find. I'll call it find course by ID. I'll give you the ID. Yes. Right. We never closed it. Very good. Yeah. So typically we would do a finally. Right, and here we would do a connection dot close. Now that connection close can throw an exception, right? So you might want to put it inside of a trycatch itself. Would be in a trycatch, add exception method or trycatch, right? And probably you want to make sure that, you know, if the connection is not null, right, then you want to close it, something like that, right? Yeah, always remember to close all your resources, right? Otherwise, you know, your fellow developers are going to start complaining, you know, who's not closing their connections. So anyway, so find course by ID will be something similar, right? We're going to do the trycatch for finding this, right? We're going to surround this with a trycatch. We're going to do the driver, the same thing, right? And we're going to have to surround this again. I'll just add it. I'm feeling lazy today. And one thing that we would have to do is now use this find course by ID, but the select statement would be something like select star from courses where, right, courses where ID is equal to what? I need a placeholder here, right? Like, or I can leave it like that. Well, I can leave it like that, and then I can append the ID that I want to put in there. Right? I could do something like this. I can do a statement connection dot create statement, and then in the statement I can say statement dot execute query, and the query would be find, what is it, find course by ID, and then I need to concatenate. So as I concatenate, I would concatenate what? The ID. Now the ID is, let's say, the ID is maybe number 1. Right? So I can concatenate that with a string 1. Right? Let's see if that works. This is going to be the result set, but notice that the result set here is going to return just 1 element, presumably, because this is a primary key, right? It should be just 1. So result set, results. So I know there's only 1 because presumably it's primary key. So it makes no sense to do a while loop, but instead we still need to do the next. Right? We still need to do result set next, right? But there might have not been a course with ID number 1. Yes. So we typically we want to wrap this inside of some logic, as in if there is, right. So this only returns true if there's a row, or false if there are no rows. Right. There is no course with that ID. So if this is true, then we can add the course in here. We can say course, new course, right? And in here we can pass the result set dot get integer ID, and result set dot get string title. Right? And once we have the course, we can just return the course. Or if something happened, right, and we threw an exception and whatnot, we can just here return null. So the only reason we would get to this null is either because something terrible happened and we never got to this return course. Okay. Obviously we need to add the finally. So let's add the finally. And all right, so let's try it out. Let's restart this. And so let's try and hit the other URL. The URL is called find course by ID. So this is up and running. So instead of test, let's hit that. And there we go. So we retrieved that 1 course, right? Which is exactly what we wanted to do.